BTS?
We're also looking at that former Yugoslavia. We don't have a local presence yet, but we travel time and again there. For instance, my colleagues and I visited a company led by a very interesting entrepreneur. I'm sure it's called NEO. I'm sure you know about them. I think what's important though is that we would be looking at companies that have a regional expansion strategy or global expansion strategy, or at least they plan to grow throughout the former Yugoslavia. Because as we see those, the current markets are quite tiny, and in our opinion, not the business model would probably not be so interesting if they would just stick to Slovenia or Serbia or any other country in that space. My understanding is that now, things settled down a bit after the problems between various countries, and at least I understood that from Slovenian companies are very much looking at expanding through the former Yugoslavia through acquisitions or otherwise.
Okay, thanks. Does anybody have? No. We have a. Yes. David always has to say.
No. Dobar dan. I lived 2 years in Slovenia, and I think you had your investment under Tito times. A lot of investment there. I don't know about if you're talking specifically for Slovenia. I think Serbia is a great place. Got a lot of potential. Slovenia is too small, and Croatia is still a bit messy. But I think entrepreneurs in Slovenia have been very successful. I think they're the ones that will drive the expansion, the local entrepreneurs.
Thank you. We have a question.
Dragoš Novak, I'm an entrepreneur. Some of you mentioned that Romania is the spotlight right now. I was wondering if the distinguished panelists would like to share with us some of the most promising or most interesting areas or sectors that they see emerging from Romania right now.
Just the distinguished ones. Okay.
Only those, yeah.
Guys, that would exclude me for sure. But I hold the microphone, so. Anyway, so sectors, areas of major interest in Romania. Where do you? Yeah. There's not many microphones in Romania, though.
I'm also so soft-spoken. I think that's very well. I think there's two instructions for me. First off, just real short, private investors don't obviously have the structure as VCs will have when they start looking at certain areas strategically. For me and most private investors, it will be driven by our portfolio companies, actually, on how we start to look at other regions like Serbia, which is one of my portfolio companies actually looking at right now. But to go into this question, Romania is hot for a couple of reasons, and that's why I'm here. I think there's two areas that I'm very interested in. Is online, internet. Obviously, I have a lot of experience in that. But you have a growing internet base that is growing very much to a growth profile as we have known in Western Europe for a while. And more recently, countries like the Czech Republic. So I think there's massive opportunity there. And the other part, very similar in the region, is mobile. The penetration numbers here are very high, not quite at the Czech Republic level. Czech Republic is over 100% actually, and one of my portfolio companies is very active in that area. But mobile is very interesting. And let's not forget, from countries that are already starting to show this growth profile, their scale here. I mean, 22 million people, you're talking about something, and that's very interesting. So that's why I would focus.
Thank you. The second private investor potential. What are the sectors?
Actually, if everything goes well, Romania is going to invest in one of my companies this by the end of the week, but that's also a positive thing.
Just
Yeah, I totally agree with Weihai. My experience is internet and mobile. Those are the industries. They seem to have, or at least the presentations that we saw were very interesting, conceptually at least. Business models are always a difficult one. But I think there's a lot of innovation going on. And it might not be new innovation, but there's definitely something happening. And I think that if we're looking at key providers like Rom Telecom, who were talking about spending more and more on infrastructure, and that definitely fuels the way for entrepreneurs to find a space on the net or in the mobile space.
Okay. But so can you at least verify mobile is now hot in Romania? You see it from a totally different perspective.
Well,
let's comment on that.
Everyone says that, so it has to be true. From my perspective, what's interesting about mobile here is that the portfolio of handsets people have is quite advanced. So people tend to replace their handsets very soon, which is good for us. You need high-tech phones, or at least above average phones. And another thing is that till today I thought it's because of the lack of classical infrastructure, there is a very high level of consumption of mobile internet in Romania, which again means that above average percentage of people is using web browsing, is familiar with those features of their phones, beyond just calling and texting. So that's important for us, and that's why we have already started business here in Romania, but I want to see myself.
Okay. So, Mihai, obviously anything that Cisco strategically is interested in, but yeah.
Yeah, I was going to start with that. I think information technology and media are the sectors that are very interesting in Romania and indeed in the region. Then I think healthcare, financial sector, business services as a whole, construction materials, and green energy. I think these would be the sectors that would grow above the average.
Okay, I'm sorry, I switched to Intel, but what's interesting for Intel?
Honestly, it's very difficult to pinpoint the sector which is going to have the most, is likely to experience the most growth in Romania or have the most successful companies. And first of all, because in most of these sectors, Romania is quite behind other markets in the region, and definitely behind other more developed markets. But having said that, apart from the delay in adoption of different technologies, what I think is going to be successful in Romania is what's going to be successful worldwide. We've seen today in the 11 minutes presentations business plans and companies which really have potential to address worldwide needs. So definitely there is one thing which is related to the current state of the economy, and the other thing which is related to the potential of the local entrepreneurs. And both I think can be definitely very successful.
Okay. Anyway, so anything Romanian is interesting. Would you like to add up on that, John, Edward? Would you exclude anything? Something that is not interesting in Romania?
I'd rather just continue in a more positive tone. I would say that one sector that remains vibrant throughout the region is financial services. So if you talk about TMT, various applications that address the financial services market, I think would be quite interesting. It could range from bankier.pl, which is an internet financial site. We're now talking to a company that has some iBanking applications. And indeed, if you're developing software, there's a tremendous demand for financial service applications and software.